Hi everyone, I'm back to do your bonus read. I'm going to use the Pagan Tarot. I've had a little bit of an affair with the Pagan Tarot too. I had to put it away. I got a little obsessed with it. I fall in love with my tarot decks. I need a life. And I've just pulled it back out again, so I'm ready to start up a new relationship now with this deck. It is beautiful. I love it. Also, somebody said something yesterday about having an accent. Ten of Swords coming through, end of a cycle coming in here. Usually a cycle which could involve things like, understanding your negative thinking, hanging on to a cycle, refusing to let go, but it can also talk about betrayal as well. Somebody asked me yesterday, they said to me, I know you're an Aussie, but you have a little bit of an accent. And that's because I was born in England. I came out when I was 16, which means I've been here for hundreds of years. And I still have a little bit of an accent, which tends to sort of come forward when I'm being very assertive. I'm not an angry person. I'm certainly not temperamental, but I do have, when I get really passionate about something, sometimes that sort of comes forth. So if you're hearing me reading and I'm feeling very passionate about what I'm reading about, oh, there you go, Ten of Swords coming into an Ace of Swords here. So you're finishing out a cycle to start a brand new one around stepping into your truth. All right, beautiful. So yes, it comes out when I'm being really passionate. All right. Oh, I have to go into work today. I haven't been into work at all in the last, it's probably getting close to 4 months. And my Surface Pro laptopy thingy chucked a wobbler, decided to explode on me and burst its bank. So I reckon it probably put on weight because of the COVID, because I think we've all done a little bit of that. But it started to sort of like explode. And when I say that, it was more of an implode. It's sort of just the screen sort of popped out in a bubble. And of course, when you want a new one of anything, it takes, a week to get it to come through. And it came through on Thursday or Friday last week, but I wasn't going to go into work to collect it. So now I have to go in today. But I'm still going to be working from home for a little while. In fact, I really like working from home. All right, let's have a look what's going on in your bonus read. I've told you what deck I'm using, and I'm coming up here with the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups did come out in the What's Cracking reading. This is why I like to use a new deck for the bonus read. As you know, sometimes we get a repeat reading. Other times we get an extension or a clarification. Sometimes with the two readings, it can be from one person's perspective and another person's perspective. Sometimes it's a completely different read. So I go with it. I only take the messages that come through. I don't ask for anything in particular. I just tune into the strongest energy. So we have a lot of confusion here. Somebody's having sort of a lot of trouble trying to come to some sort of conclusion about what they want to do. I mean, she's meditating on it here. So it's something that needs an answer, but she's not really sure whether to move forward with something or accept something here. And I love this card, so explicit. So there's a rainbow in here, and I know there's a snake in that one. So it's sort of like, what am I expecting? Somebody's making some sort of offer here, and this person is not really sure what they're getting in that offer. Oh, wow. Okay. Very explicit cards, aren't they? Somebody here's been hurt in the past. They could have been hurt in a relationship where there was some sort of interference in the relationship here. Somebody could have, interfered with the communication between two people. So it sort of makes me feel like you may not have been communicating with a person here. There may have been very, very little sort of going backwards and forwards, and maybe there was sort of like this feeling of lacking understanding or not really understanding where you were at. Maybe that's why you were sort of suffering from this confusion. Okay, so we have the Two of Swords. No, we don't. We have the Five of Swords coming through. Okay, so we're getting a lot of repeat cards from the first reading, I was going to say. So the Five of Swords is a card that talks about winning the battle but not the war, walking away from something with a victory but not really feeling victorious because you've really won at the expense of something else. So I always think it can be walking away from someone you love because they've done the wrong thing. And certainly with these two cards here, I would say to you, looks to me like somebody's walked away from someone because they keep hurting them and they're really confused about the relationship, not really sure what to do. And maybe they've walked away more than once. Maybe they're cycling here because they're sitting trying to work out what they do now. How do I move forward? I'm really confused about this. So I feel like someone's making a decision to move forward here. We do have the Four of Swords, so we are contemplating, meditating, having a really good think of what direction we want to go in. And we have the Five of Wands here. So a lot of conflict coming through here. But we do have the Ten of Cups coming through at the end. And I do think with the Ten of Cups, there seems to be some sort of happy conclusion here. Now, what I'm feeling very strongly is that maybe somebody's coming in with some sort of offer, and maybe you've had a bad experience in that relationship or with an offer like that previously. So you could have been cycling with someone. And there's this really strong feeling now that you've done it so many times, you don't really know what to expect. But when you love someone deeply, it's very difficult to often say no. And the attachment we feel at moving away can be very, very strong. And for some people can last a long time. But the confusion is all about, if you go back again, does it just go the same way? And I feel like for some of you here, you may have had a relationship where somebody's actually returned to a previous partner. Because there's this feeling here that that's what's been confusing. But let's just go into the relationship. Oh my goodness, you tell I've been tired. Okay, so we have the Nine of Pentacles coming through here. So I feel like perhaps you've just started getting yourself straightened out. Perhaps this relationship was a little bit of time ago. Maybe you've been working on your own self-sufficiency, your own business, your own work, sort of building up your collateral. I love that. But building up your resources, let's say. All right. It's always the way. They always come back just when you've sorted yourself out. That's how it works. You're too late. I'm over it now. Break my heart, go away. Okay. So we have coming through here the Knight of Swords. It's actually the Page of Swords. I have to remember because they have different names on here. And then I have the Ace of Swords, which came out in the beginning there. Someone's coming in with the truth. Someone's realised the truth now. Ten of Swords here. Someone's coming in with the truth. It's going to help you close out a cycle. I want to say that to you. So if you've been hanging on to this person's energy, if you've been unable to let this person go, it will help you close down this cycle because you're realizing the truth here. So I feel like somebody's coming in to make you an offer, but I don't think that this person really knows what they want to offer at this point. It's sort of like a little bit of an immature energy here. And I don't think it's enough to sort of get you out of this sort of energy of, you know, I'm doing this on my own now. Very strong energy here around a new start though, and clearing out the old. So when I feel that energy, I think it's probably mostly about being able to close something down and no longer needing to keep revisiting it. So it's closure. And maybe you've done so much work that you really, so you're moving away here. Okay, so maybe you've done so much work on yourself now that when this person comes in, you realise that you've just been hanging on to an idea or an illusion. So that may be why you were getting that Seven of Cups coming up here. Sometimes when something goes, we remember all the good stuff about it and we don't remember the not so nice stuff about a relationship. Sometimes we sort of idealize something, and I feel like that's what's happened here. So maybe you've put a lot of energy into something that was really good on and off, but maybe you've realized now that you've grown away from it. And maybe the energy you hang on to is going to go now because this is the end of negative thinking. So it may be that you're releasing the energy now that you've sort of got the offer back again. Okay, so here we have the Seven of Pentacles coming through. So we're growing now for the future. We're moving on, Six of Swords, and going towards the Seven of Pentacles. And we do have the Page of Cups coming through here. Okay, your person's not giving up. So the Temperance card is here, talking about balance. And we have the King of Cups. You've got someone who's going to really not give up that easily. This person has had some sort of realization, some sort of awakening here. And they know what they want now. And maybe that was what was going on before. Maybe they weren't really sure of what they wanted. The thing is here, you look like you're going it alone. It looks like you don't want to deal with it anymore. There's this truth here and this Ten of Swords, which means you look like you're closing everything down to me and planning for the future. But to me, this person is really in love with you, and I feel that perhaps it's taken them a long time to realize how strong their love is. I feel like they could have chosen someone else over you to start with. I think that's why the Three of Swords is there. So you might have been dealing with someone who was in another relationship or in another situationship. Let's just go back and have a look. And I'm feeling like this is the illusion now. Rather than confusion, trying to meditate to get your mind in a better place to make a good decision. I feel like somebody broke your heart very badly here, and perhaps it could have been because there was a third party interference here. Not necessarily another partner, it could have been a partner or a marriage partner, and it could have been another situation that's got between you here. I feel like that's why you're not trusting. I feel like you walked away from something, even though you felt like you wanted to sort of continue and put energy in. You've realized here that it just wasn't worth your while and you've moved on. You may have been using meditation, time out, waiting for that sword to come in here. Waiting for that sword. So we have the Three Swords above her, which signify heartbreak, which is of course in that card. And then the sword that she's holding here, we have now in front of us. So she knew she wanted a new start, but she had to work through the energy first. Okay, so the Five of Wands talks about inner conflict. But I feel like after all that, there seems to be this great happiness. So I feel that you've found some sort of reprieve from this, and you've started to get yourself together. And I feel like just when you've got it all going on, somebody comes back into your life here. But I feel that this is giving you an opportunity to close something down and start something new, because you're moving away here and you're rebuilding. To me, it looks like the timing was right for you. So something else was happening during this time too. If we look at it from a spiritual perspective, I feel like there were lessons that you had to learn here anyway. And I feel like you've done that because you're feeling very self-sufficient, you've got new growth happening here. So you've really realized your potential now. And maybe during this relationship, you'd sort of devalued yourself or tried to show or prove your value to someone, and it wasn't working, because now you've realized this beautiful value and you're letting go. This person's not, though. They're coming in with a really big offer. Okay, so we have definitely a massive offer coming in here. Someone who is really offering love. I feel like this person has matured a great deal through their own experiences. So maybe you both had to do some healing. I feel like for some of you, this has been a length of time between these two occurrences too, between the breaking up and the coming back. I think for some of you, it may have even been years. But definitely this person realizing their love for you now and making a decision here to come towards you. The Temperance card always talks about bringing in balance. So perhaps this person's done a lot of work on themselves as well. But there seems to be a very big change of energy. Anyway, I pulled out my Romance Angels cards. When I first started reading with these, everybody had them. And I was like, okay. So I stuck them at the back of my cupboard and I forgot about them. So I thought I might just bring out one of those. For an oracle card. Maybe this person is having trouble speaking. Oh, okay. There you go. We have the card of true love coming out here. The thing is with the true love card, I feel this is what's happened here. I feel like this person's realized the depth of this love they have for you. And I feel that they, we're not in alphabetical order, or I was going to have a look at whether it had anything more in your in the card than what it does on the front of the card. So let's have a little read. I think this person's realised their depth of love for you here. This isn't it's no longer just playing around. You pulled this card because true and lasting love is here for you. If your question was about a specific person, then this card serves as validation of the relationship's divine nature. This individual has genuine love for you and you both can overcome the issues that arise. This is especially the case if you can express your feelings through attributes such as kindness, compassion and courtesy towards each other. For instance, having honest conversations with them will be an expression of your true love, even if it involves discussing uncomfortable topics. If you're currently seeking a relationship, this card offers you assurance that true love is on its way. Keep the faith that a wonderful relationship is destined to come to you and don't compromise with an unsuitable partner. It's essential that you treat yourself well by taking excellent care of yourself, for the foundation of a true love relationship is two people who cherish who they are. There you go. Very nice reading, folks. Thank you.